Hello and welcome to the social trading webinar. If you're watching the recorded version of this, it was held live at 7:30 in the evening UK time on Thursday the 7th of July. My name is David Jones and I'm going to take probably just under half an hour just to go through how social trading works, why it's something I've become interested in, and why it could, maybe add another different angle to your own trading. If you have any questions after watching this, please feel free to drop me an email. My email address is david@tradeafter.com, and you can follow me on Twitter for market updates and charts and all that sort of thing. And I'm at Jones the Markets there. Before we start properly, let's just put that risk warning up. So if you can have a read of that at your leisure. A bit about me, I worked in the spread betting industry for the best part of nearly 10 years, and I left a couple of years ago to have a bit of a break and do some different things. For a year I worked for the BBC. I was the markets presenter on Wake Up to Money, which was great fun, apart from having to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to drive into London 3 days a week. And I also write a weekly column for Shares magazine, which is a weekly magazine here in the UK. My background is very much technical analysis, so I sort of qualified as a technical analyst in the mid-1990s and worked as a currency analyst and also as a technical analyst for a few years before going in to the broking business. Right, I think without further ado, let's get onto it. The idea behind social trading is easy enough. If I just flip the screen over, we'll have a look at a screen here, and I'll talk you through what all of this means in a second. But so what you're looking at here is a list, a ranking list, like a league table. Let's just scroll down so you can see a little bit more information. So it's a league table of traders, and the way social trading works is it's straightforward enough. Other traders make their trades and their historical profit and loss visible to you as a client. And what you can do, you can view their track record and filter different searches using your own criteria. You can build a portfolio of up to 5 people, 5 traders who you want to copy. And then what happens then is you choose the level of risk that you're comfortable with. For example, if they lose 2% on their account, do you want to lose 2%, or do you want to lose a bit more than 2% or a bit less than 2%? I think someone's saying they can't see. If you can't, hopefully you can see that list. If there's anybody else who can't see that list, just write in the chat box and I'll refresh it. But I think you should be able to see that. Maybe if you're having problems, I think I've found with these webinars in the past is to log in and log out and log back in again, and it normally works. So you can choose the level of risk that you want to take on, and that's it. So in effect, what you're doing is you're almost like a portfolio manager, managing these sort of different traders on your account. So if we drill down, and let's just take a look at the top trader here. What I've done, I've sorted these by number of followers. So I've had a look at some of the popular traders in here. So let's just walk across some of the information we have at the top. So this person here, that's his photo. The star there, that means he's a popular trader. He's got lots of followers. R means, that's an important one for me. We'll talk more about this in a minute, but R means he's a real money trader. So on the Ayondo platform, you can look at people who trade on demo accounts, and you can choose to have those, sort of you can mirror their trades, or you can just look at people who are trading with real money, and the Ayondo platform does make it clear by putting that R next to them to show that they're using real money, they're not trading on a demo. That's the name. Oh, hold on, let's scroll that across. There's the name. The career level, there are various stages that people can go through if they want other traders to follow them. There's more details on that on the website. When the last trade was placed, so Mr. Dax here placed a trade 4 hours ago. P&L, the profit loss. I'll tell you what we'll do. If we do this over, let's say, the last 6 months and see what we have, and then we'll sort by, there we go, we've got by followers. So profit and loss over the last 6 months, a bit of a tough time. He's been down 10% over the last 6 months. Let's drop down to this one here, Edil Metal there, who's had a much better 6 months, up 59% over the previous 6 months. Then we have max DD. That means max drawdown. So what it means is if their account reached a peak of let's say £10,000 from trading profits, how much of that did they give back before the account grew again? So the maximum drawdown in this case was just under 21%. Monthly volatility, the lower this figure, the less volatility there is in terms of monthly returns. So if you look here, we have some quite low volatility, 4.5%, 8%, and then this one down here, trading Natch Plan B, monthly volatility of 30%. So it tells you if you're following this person, you need to maybe have a stronger stomach for the swings that you're going to see on your account. Number of followers, this just shows how popular they are. Number of trades per month, so let's go back to that one there, Edel Metal. There you go, just over 122 on average a month. And for me, this is one of the most useful bits, is the chart. So this is the chart of their P&L over the period that we've picked. So for me, ideally what I'm looking for is something not too dissimilar to this. You know, an uptrend, it's not going to be up every day, you know, but clearly a nice, smooth, increasing chart in terms of what their profit and their loss looks like. There's another pretty good one down there. Okay, so there's that's the information that you get. And if you click on an individual trader, let's go back to the most popular one, Mr. Dax. If we click on this one, we get a bit more information about this person. So we have member since September 2014. So what's that? About a year and a half, coming up to a couple of years nearly. Trading experience greater than 10 years. Transaction history is we can click on there, and if we want to, we can see a breakdown of every individual trade that this person has done. Okay, so there's a list of trades, the profit and loss, where he was in, where he was out, all that sort of stuff. Okay, let's just go back to the overview page. There we go. And we have the number of followers, 2,000 followers, been trading with real money since October 2014. And here's a description of the strategy that this person uses. Performance since registered, 62% since he's been a member. Maximum drawdown, monthly volatility, number of trades, win months. Okay, so it's win trades, just over half of this person's trades end up being profitable, and just over half of the months that this person trades in have been profitable months. And there's our chart. And if you want to, you can say, well, what do the last 7 days look like? There's the last 7 days, down a bit, down 1%. Clearly, it's a bit of a strange time in markets at the moment with all this volatility off the back of the EU referendum vote in the UK. If you look at the last month, so over the last month, so that down 5% over the last month. So it was just a little bit of a tricky time recently. If we look over the last year, a return of, what's that, 11% over the last 12 months or so. Okay, let's go back to our list. So what we can do is there's a list of all these traders. So you think, well, okay, there's an awful lot of traders here. How many have we got? We've got 1,822 top traders. So what we might want to do is say, well, okay, I don't really want to go and look at every one of these 1,822 traders. Maybe I want to apply some filters here, you know, to see, okay, can I screen out the same way you might screen out stocks? Can I screen out some of the people I'm not really that interested in? So let me just show you. We'll just flip back and just go through a list, one of the lists that I use. So this is some of the things that you might want to consider. So for me, real money traders is important. So people who are actually trading with their own money, whether it's, I don't know, 500 euros or 500,000 euros or 500,000 pounds. I'm not too interested in people who are trading on a demo account, because for me, I think, well, if I'm going to follow you with my real money, I'd want you to be doing it with your own real money. A smooth historical profit and loss, like I said, that chart we look at, I want to see hopefully a nice steady uptrend. A healthy profit and loss to drawdown ratio. What I mean by that is if someone made 100% in a year, then that's great. But if by making 100%, somewhere along the way, they lost 90% of their account, for me, that's a little bit too much volatility, which brings us down to the next one, low volatility. You know, hopefully not massive swings in the monthly profit or loss. And the detailed search lets you refine all of that. So let's flick back. We'll flick back now, and we'll try and find some traders. So we've gone back to that top traders screen. What I'm going to do, I'm going to do a detailed search. So I click on this detailed search here. Here we go. So I'll say, okay, all markets. I don't care what market they trade. I want to scan people who trade anything. Since, let's say, over the last 6 months, I want to see, I want their performance 0 to greater than 100%. I'm not too bothered by that. You may think, okay, max drawdown, I only want people who've ended up giving back 10% of their profits. So clearly you can refine it in that way. It just means that you'll be excluding a lot of the traders. Let's say I'm not too bothered about that, but let's say we go up to 24%, so someone who hasn't given back more than 24% of their profits. Monthly volatility, we can choose a low number. Then we have the Sharpe ratio and the MAR ratio, industry standard ratios. You can choose by number of followers. So if you want to follow the same person that lots of other people are following, I'm not that bothered. I want to follow somebody who's making money. I'm not too bothered if they're popular. The number of trades, again, I'm not too bothered. If someone trades 3 times a month and makes a profit, that's great. If someone trades 3 times an hour and makes a profit, then that's good as well. And the profit per trade you can choose. And I want people who traded within the last 31 days. So I want someone who's active. They don't have to be trading every hour, but someone who has placed a trade in the last 31 days. And that's it. So I've got all markets 6 months. If I click on show, that will now come up and sort all those traders. So there we go. So over the last 6 months, we've got it sorted by profit and loss here, their percentage return. So if we look at this one here, we've got Rakem 99 has been the best performer based on that criteria. So his or her last trade was 27 hours ago. The profit and loss over the period, the last 6 months, is 139%. That's a pretty good return. The maximum drawdown is 22%. Again, that's quite healthy. It's not giving back too much profits. Only got 1 followers and does about 19 trades a month. But you can see, I don't think it's not too active, this person. We'll click on them in a second and find out a bit more information about them. But you can see the chart sort of jumps. So I think we're maybe only seeing a few trades here. And the thing that puts me off a little bit is there's no R next to their name. So this person isn't a real money trader. But let's have a click and see what they've been up to. Here we go. So it looks like they had a long, oh no, it's not a long period. It's only a week or so. They had a week off over the holiday, the American holiday. Oh, hang on a second. Let's see. When did they start trading? Member since June 2016. Okay, so this is a relatively new one. So it's whether you're happy with just a month or so's track record, and it looks like this person only started trading just about here, or was trading fairly flat, sort of fairly up and down before then, and then really took off, it would appear, more recently. Okay, so that's that person's details. So for me, that's an impressive performance. It's maybe not much of a track record so far, but we can scroll down and we can see, there we go, June 20% return, July 99% return, maybe taking on quite a lot of risk to get those sort of numbers. And you can scroll down and see some further details, what they've been trading, where they've made their money. Okay, but let's go back to our list. So we'll leave that one alone for now. Let's go back to our list and see if we can find someone else. So look at this one, Hectorius. I remember him. We did a webinar, I think it was about a week ago, and I remember this one. Let's have a look. Pretty good numbers. Profit or loss, 126%. Maximum drawdown, only 19%. Quite a high monthly volatility figure compared to some. So a volatility figure of about 27%, 28%. But you can see relatively smooth chart. Let's take a look at Hectorius. Let's click in there. Okay, member since October 2015. Trading experience claimed of greater than 10 years. And trading strategy, I've got a real money account and use proprietary indicators. I try to keep drawdowns low and profits regular. And you can see it's sort of something of maybe not traded much, I don't think, the last few days. But you can see there's the chart going back since he registered, or she registered. So back to February of this year. If we do a year, I don't think we'll have a year's worth of data, will we? There we go. You can see it starts in February of this year. Over the last month, the return has been just over 5%, and then over the last 3 months, there we go, a 30% return there. So you can really, drill down and see how well or how badly these people have been doing. So let's say, actually, I quite fancy following Hectorius's trades. He's got a reasonable track record. He's got quite a bit of volatility, but let's build him up. Let's follow this person. Here we go. So I've clicked on follow, and he's gone in. So I've got have I logged in? Let me log in. Let me log in so he actually goes into my my little portfolio. There we go. Let me just take all these people out for now. I think this is from the earlier thing we did, the earlier webinar. There we go. Out you come. Out you come. Okay. And I can go back to my list. Am I still logged in? Yeah. Hectorius, there he is. Okay, so we'll click on follow. We'll follow that one. Perfect. So he's now in. What I'm going to do, let's have a look and see who else we can find, because I want to add 5 into my portfolio. So we're scrolling down. We're still on that criteria. We're going to scroll down. There's Hectorius. Let's say we'll do the detailed search again. There's all of our criteria there. We wanted it over the last 6 months. Let's go back. Here we go. Okay, there's Hectorius. And let's say all I'm interested in is real money traders. I can just, choose to go up here and go like, just show all real money traders. So there we go. This is now showing real money traders, and I'll choose the last 6 months is what I'm going to base my research on. Okay. So there's this person here. That's been incredibly volatile. Look at that. You can see the chart hopefully here on the right-hand side. It's doing really well, then bang. Suddenly went, seems a little bit crazy, but there's that person there. There's this one here, Ciola, one. You can see it had a pretty bad start, but has turned it round. Same with Trade Goat, something of a bad start there, but has turned it round again. There's Hectorius, who we already started following. Cash 1974 seems to have had quite a run recently after a pretty bad start. Quite a lot, quite high monthly volatility figures, some of these. Let's choose there we go, this Edel Metal. Okay, so 59% return over the last 6 months, 20% drawdown, and 8% monthly volatility. That seems like quite a relatively calm trader. So let's add that one in. So we'll click on follow. That's it. So that's gone in with Hectorius in my list of people I want to follow. Let's scroll down and just find 3 more. Woody Trading, he was in my list already from last time around, he or she was in. And again, you can see 48% return, 21% drawdown, monthly volatility not too bad, relatively smoothish chart. Let's put Woody back in. There we go. It's back in there. And who else can we find? We'll just add 2 more in quickly, then I'll show you a bit more of the workings. Let's find another relatively good chart. Sentiment Quant, 30% return, 7% drawdown, very low monthly volatility. I'm a big fan of low monthly volatility. I think trying to get rich slowly rather than trying to get rich quickly. So let's go back and one more. So one more trader. Who else have we got? Let's scroll down and bring up more. There we go. Okay. I've gone down too far. So we pick some of these maybe a bit more volatile. Let's see who's got some good numbers. So 17%, 18%. This one, Halo 84. There we go, 20%. Drawdown. I mean, that's a bit of a sort of poor drawdown to profit ratio. Made 20%, but then gave back 18.5%. But let's follow that person. Here we go. So now I've got 5 people in my portfolio. And what this chart below shows, the dashed line, shows me the theoretical performance. Yeah, if I could go back in time to last September, how much money I would have made following all of these people's trades, and I would have made 81% as of today, which is brilliant, of course. But unfortunately, I have yet to find a broker who lets us go back in a time machine and do these trades. And I can say, okay, what would the last 6 months look like? Last 6 months I'd have made 60%. The last month I'd have made about 3% by the looks of it. And you can see how much more volatile it's been because of how the markets have been. So I've got 5 people now, and what I want to do is follow these people's trades. But there's an important bit I need to show you now. If I click on this little spanner, this wrench icon up here, click on that. What I can do, this I think is one of the most important parts of following people, is setting the level of risk that you want. If you only had 1 trader in your portfolio and chose to follow them 1, which is the setting at the moment, what it means is if they make 5% on their account, you make 5% on your account. If they lose 10% on their account, you lose 10% on your account. But because I've got 5 traders I'm following, that risk factor is divided by a 5th. Yeah, so now if I'm following somebody, because there's 5 people in my account, if Hectorius loses 10%, I only lose 2%. If Hectorius makes 10%, I only make 2%. But I can choose the level of risk I want, so I can magnify it if I want to. Okay, but me, because I'm quite conservative, I'm going to knock it all the way down to a half. So this way, if I was only following Hectorius, I'd only be mimicking half of his percentages, but because I've got 5 other people in there, my effective risk factor on him is now 0.1. So if he makes 10%, I will only make a tenth of that, I'll make 1%. But I think it's a good way if, the idea of social trading is new to you, and it's relatively new to me. I've been trading using spread betting and CFDs for years, so the idea of me trading on my account is fine, but having someone else in effect doing it, your account following someone else's trades, is a new thing. I suggest dialing this risk right down. So let's make it 0.5, and we'll do this for all of them. So we'll do it for this one as well. I'm using a bit of a strange screen here, and it sort of jumps about. I've got a small PC, small laptop tied up to a big screen, and it can go a little bit crazy. But let's just knock the risk all the way down. And one last one. Okay. And we're done. So now what you can also do, and what I did for the first month to get used to this was execute it on a demo account. Now my demo account, I had a fantastic return. The first month it made something like 15%, but with massive volatility. So I've got a slightly different approach now when it comes to real money. There were some real big swings day to day. Then ideally I want to try and have a sort of relatively smooth chart, but we'll choose to execute it on a live account. So let's click on that. So execute. So I've got an account set up. It says, okay, these people you're following, they've got open trades. So do you want to mimic the trades at the market price? And I'm saying, well, no, I don't. I don't want to mimic the trades. I'll just execute the portfolio. Whenever they do their next trade, I want to follow it. I don't want to mimic the open trades they've got. And that's it. So there's the account. So I've set an account up for purposes of these demos with the massive amount of £125.28 in. And there's my account here. You can log on anywhere. If you log on in a browser, you can go my portfolio, my live account, and it shows you, what's going on in your account. At the moment, there's nothing going on my account because none of these people have done any new trades. But when they do new trades, they will feed through to my account, and they'll be relatively small. There's another account I'm running. Again, it has relatively small trades on because you dial the risk right down. So if this person, if Hectorius does a trade and ends up losing, I don't know, 2%, then I'm only going to lose, in this example, something like it's a fifth of that, is now a tenth of that. I'm only going to lose 0.2%. So it's going to be relatively small movements, really tiny position sizes. But again, I think if social trading is new to you, you don't want to be sort of seeing your account swinging around 10% a day. You can trade, you can have these trades to be mimicked to be really small. You can also set this loss protection. If we click on there, what this does is it sets a level where if your account falls to that level, then basically the trades are closed out. So after the loss protection triggers, all open positions are closed in succession. Okay, so it's a way. So let's say I only wanted to have, let's say if my account fell to £80 in this example, I'm going to want, there we go. So if the account falls to that, then it will automatically start closing out all those trades. But otherwise, we just leave it. We leave it running. These people here are buying and selling. Our account will be buying and selling as well, following their trades. And hopefully, we've picked a good team of traders to follow. And it really is as straightforward as that. I think it's really interesting. I've not done anything in the sort of spread betting CFD business now for 2.5 years. And one of the reasons is it's a very congested market in the UK. There are big companies out there who provides a good service, but I think the idea of social trading is something I've been interested in, but I've never really seen it sort of clear and transparent and clean. And I think the way Ayondo do it, it is really clean. Of course you can set up a normal account as well. You can set up a normal spread betting or CFD account, and their spreads on that are pretty competitive, as you'd expect. So I've got a normal spread betting account with them, and also this social trading account, and it's just I think a really interesting way of approaching markets. I'm not saying it's the answer to make money really easily and you don't have to do anything, but I think as an additional way of looking to maybe trade the markets and manage a bunch of traders, I think it's quite complementary to other more directional based trading. And that's it really. That's the quick demonstration of how it works. I think the best way to do it is to actually if you're interested, open an account and give it a try. I've got a commercial relationship with Ayondo. So what I'm doing is if a client comes via me, so if you're not a client and you come via me, then the way it works is I'm also doing a bunch of different seminars exclusively for these sort of people on trading strategies. We'll do a bit on trading strategies, a bit on support, resistance, risk management, all of that sort of stuff, in addition to these other seminars that we do, these other webinars we do. But I've just sent you the link there. So that's the link. It's a bit.ly link, so bit.ly link DJ Trade. If you go there and open an account, then you're marked as one of my clients, and I'll be sending out details on sort of various seminars that we're doing. To find out more about social trading, there's I wrote a bit on my blog, and I'll send that through now. So you can see a bit there up on the blog, and there's also the Market Outlook webinar that we did on Monday of this week, and we do that every week. So the next one is on next Wednesday. But again, I'll put that out on Twitter if you're on Twitter. So it's at 12:30 next Wednesday. Is it a look at maybe what's going on in the markets? And I do think the best way of understanding it is do it, but do it small. So there's a couple of questions coming in. How long would you leave a trader running before you check whether they're working out or close and choose another? That's a very good question. For me, at least, I review it on a month-by-month basis. So I do sort of check in and keep an eye on it during the day. But for me, on a month-by-month basis, because if I'm looking at the last sort of 3 to 6 months track record, I've got to give them a bit longer than a couple of weeks to prove themselves. So for me, every month I'll sit down and think, well, has anything drastically changed? Or are they just having a bit of a dip? The way I do it, it's almost like, it's very similar. If you have a pension or an ISA or something like that, we have managed funds in there, don't you, where you keep an eye on them and you might swap them around. It's a similar sort of process, for me, dialing that risk right down and just looking at sort of managing traders the same way I'd have maybe managed unit trusts or unit funds. What's your trader name? Can we follow you? No, I haven't done that yet. I might do that actually. Yeah, but no, I'm not. It's just at the moment. I'm just following everybody else, so I haven't put myself up there yet. But I think maybe that's something for the future. We'll see. I think it's difficult markets at the moment though as well. I think it's been a really odd time the last couple of weeks or so. With this Brexit vote, and hopefully we'll see markets start to get a bit more back to normal. But I think that's it now. Like I say, I think you can have a demo account. You can start following people from as little as 100 quid or 100 euros. Okay, so you can. You don't need to put in lots of money to actually start doing this for real and thinking, right, is this actually going to work? You can do it on a demo account if you want to as well. And like I say, if you have any questions, you can drop me an email. Hopefully you can see my details there. David Jones, and I'm at Jones the Markets on Twitter, and it's david@tradeafter.com. That's my email. And if you go to my website, the link I sent through, there's a bit more details on there. Yes, I don't need reminding of the Portugal-Wales score. That was a very sad night last night. But there's a bit more details on there, and I think the football is about to start in 2 minutes' time. So I think we'll wrap things up there. But I hope if like me you're fairly new to social trading, it's maybe giving you something of an interesting one to explore. I think, and I think the best way of doing it is to do it, but start small. Thanks for coming along this evening. I'll put the recording of this up on the website a little bit later on, and I'll tweet out the link on Twitter. But as I say, any questions, let me know. Okay, have a good evening.